be.
What's going on is I want to get the resin all covered on the inside of the piece, and we move it around centrifugally so it'll cover every aspect of it, and then it'll keep the resin thin to get a clear wall of it. You can almost see where it's coming through here. These are not terribly colored pieces. These are more black and white pieces. A lot of times when we get the colored pieces, it's pretty dramatic looking through the light. So before I developed the gimbals, we used to pour these by hand. You'd pour the resin in there and get it all around, which really is nice for control, but after about 6 or 8 hours doing this, you get really tired. So you needed Chris help me a lot. What you'd do is you'd really burn out and pass it off to the other one. And a lot of times people would disappear when you get ready to, hand it off. But you get a lot of great control out of it. You can still get the control out of these. After a while, it was hard to get it at first, but now you can do it. These are the little nozzles from where you pour the resin into the piece, and then I cut it off the piece and cut it off the nozzle, and these are the rings I have left that I want to build something with at some point. And these are little tests to get to nail the color right. And here's the nozzles when they pop out, and you cut them off and you pop out. That's not a terribly colorful one. Okay, just look at this. And we put people's names on them and numbers. Anybody that helps. Or when I did the project, the people that come in from out of state, out of the country that make their own corn, we have them all numbered. This is part of the record. I have several buckets of these. Oh, these are the buckets these are the bottom of the cups that we mix the colors in. And you don't always pour out all the color to keep the consistency right and the amount per piece. And these are in the bottom of the cups. Resin, it's two pieces that I'm going to put together, two separate pours, and I'm going to fuse it together, and it's going to hang vertically straight up and down. So this would be the bottom, that would be the top. Early on when I was pouring resin, what I would do is I would take the leftovers like in the cups and pour them in these buckets, and then it's like 2000, and get these pieces. And you have fun with them, the different shapes, different colors. Some really nice ones here. I mean, look at this, it's incredible. The big ones, small ones. Some of them are more interesting than others, So this is a painting by John Singer Sargent, 1883-84, and it was banned in a Paris show from being shown because it was too risque at the dress at the time. So my entire body of work, the Madame X is here, is in tribute to John Singer Sargent and the Madame X's. So anybody who has a Madame X will know why I make it. I think it's crazy that in Paris, of all things, A beautiful painting like this would be banned, but I guess it's just showing too much skin. So this is the mold for the heart. And ironically enough, Dwayne Valentine had to have the first heart. A heart and a Valentine. So this is a 5-piece mold. And you put it in the gimbal and we spin it around. That's what this hole hooks to a square gimbal to spin it around. Put the resin in this spout over here and just move it all over the place. It really is fun to do. I really like the idea of having, it's like a painter has canvases. I have molds so I can repeat the shape but not the colors. This is a heart. This is probably number 16 or something out of the edition. And this is the one I really, I had to keep one for myself. And this was it. You can see kind of the wings are a little bit purple. That was the resin. It was a different kind of resin. When I purchased the resin, they gave me the wrong resin and called me up and said, well, you can have that. It's more expensive, but we messed up. So when I made a couple pieces, I really like the color and all the action going on in this. This is so beautiful, the light, the way the light goes through it. So you can see here, see where it's really white right there? All of that pigment, it never even hardly got down to there. That's why we put a backing color on it. The spout has gotten too small for a lot of resin in there. You can't get it inside there. So we have to open up the hole. We've actually never had to do this before, but these pieces are all, when you're doing a dark pigment like black, you can't see where you're pouring the resin to.
You've done everything been told to do. You've never done what you want to do. Dumbass. Education obviously didn't go.
These are the kernels of corn for the corn project. and this is a yellow one, and they're mounted on these stems like that go on 27 rings around the 14-foot high, 8-foot wide piece of corn like you'd get at El Pollo Loco, a little stalk. I wanted to talk about corn and shed some light on it and what it did for the Americas and the evolution of corn. And you can see how all of these pieces are all wrapped up. They're getting ready to go to a show. And we have them all wrapped up to protect them. And then you can see the back, how they're all mounted. And this is pasta, and these are two colors of the cars, race cars that I've had most of my life. I like them like this because then they're mysterious. They sort of like, you know, like pets in a pet shop, or they're just all bandaged up. And when you take them apart, it's always kind of like that Christmas feeling, because you forget about them like this. And when we were just cleaning them here a couple of weeks ago, getting them ready, it's like, oh, remember that one? Oh, that one was great. This is Dwayne Valentine's. We have Craig Kaufman's and Andy Moses. You could find all the different people's corns that they made. They came down to make them all. So what happened is I would bring them down, and we had the gimbal, and they get to put in all the colors they want. And it's really fun to see them because you forget about them. Doing is I have some soap on the water so the sandpaper will glide along, and then what you want to do is you want to wet the piece like a big dinosaur egg, and then now take a sandpaper and you sand it. You can see even a little bit of sanding, it'll see how the color starts coming out. But the finer that you get, the more luster you'll get out of it. And this is all automotive material, so I really like automotive stuff the best.
Education obviously didn't go anywhere.
Really good snipe. Let's take it out in the sun and see. we need to do. I have to sand on it for a couple hours, but you can see it's pretty much what we're planning. And it'll get brighter. And that's the hanging part where it hangs on the wall. And you won't even see it, you know.
You pointed out we're missing one of our barrels.
Chris?
Those are for fingers.
Let's make sure we get that tape off before we lift it up and put it on.
Yeah, good. More?
Almost.
Push the ladder next to the furnace.
Hard to get are these things. These are the old chroma base. These colors, such great colors. And then you mix them. They're just beautiful, rich colors. House of Color, you can still get this. They're beautiful. And I just use this automotive paint to put in, you know, in with it. And then this is the two-stage paint. I mean the flip-flop chrome illusion. It really changes. You can see probably how it changes the color. The light moves around it. Oh, this is, you know, hot hues. This is DuPont. They made this great tint that you put into a clear. You only need drops of it, and it mixes really well in the resin. Fabulous stuff. And then this is the old Hastings, what I have left of the Hastings colors. We have all these great, great pearls. This is probably it doesn't. It's like a green pearl. We have all these different kinds of just unbelievable. All of these glitters over here is what Craig Kaufman used when he did his work here. We shared that level. That's mine, and that's mine. But Craig and I shared that level of stuff.